hold on loosely and don't let go. If you get too tight now, you're gonna lose it. You're gonna lose control. Fish in Frisco, home of the Dallas Cowboys, where I've just learned of quite an interesting tale about the Cowboys and the coaching staff. And I think what it's going to cause you to do, and you're mad about 6-10, I know, and you called for heads to roll on that coaching staff, this year's Cowboys coaching staff. You got your wish. We're going to talk a little bit about maybe why you got your wish. And I get it. And sometimes we do, don't we? Treat the guys we see on TV, coaches, players, actors, we treat them like cartoon characters. Like, it's the Roadrunner dropping an anvil on the head of the Wile E. Coyote. And we forget, all of us, that they're not made of rubber, that they're not anime, they're not doodles. They're real people with real effort and real passion and real concern, and then real disappointment when it doesn't work. And that's what this story is about. Cowboy coach. It's Friday. Like that's different than any other day out here in the fishbowl. Jim Tomsula didn't just get fired. Jim Tomsula, Cowboys defensive line coach, top defensive aide under Mike Nolan, who was under Mike McCarthy, and of course Mike Nolan also got the axe for all the things that went wrong on defense, philosophically, teaching, and the record, and the stats. Jim Tomsula wanted to get fired. I don't think I'm stating that too strongly. I think had the Cowboys, first of all, had the Cowboys gone 6-10, no, he would. That nobody wants. You don't want to get fired from that. Had the Cowboys been wildly successful, of course, everybody in the building would have been that much happier. Jim Tomsula was happy to get fired. Now, you guys, and if you follow the NFL, you probably know his backstory a little bit. He was one of those, I'm going to sleep in my car while I'm a grad assistant in college. One of those kind of guys. I think in his case, he slept in his car and he had a cat and a dog. So they lived in the car with him. He did all the things you need to do to try to grab your bootstraps and go and work from the ground up. And he is, of course, a Pittsburgh area kind of guy. That's one of the reasons that the Mike McCarthy thing they hoped would work. They're Pittsburgh guys, they're ball guys. He's a tough guy, and he's a fun guy. And I don't think he'd be insulted for me to say that he looks like Fred Flintstone. I kind of look like Fred Flintstone too, so believe me, I don't mean it as an insult. Jim Tomsula's built kind of square, and he's kind of a D's and does and guy, and he's sharp, but that's not what he's about. He's not about being sharp. He's about being a ball guy. His family is completely devoted to doing good. His family is into charities, and I think one of his daughters might be a nurse that travels the world or something. This is a giving, caring family, the Tomsula family, and they care about not only the world and not only about football, they care about each other. So for some reason, the Tomsula family, wife and the kids, by and large, spent time in Florida. Now, maybe that's just where they have their home. Maybe that's where the family home is. So I assume Tomsula here was in an apartment. I don't know that, but let's assume that. So it's a very transient living situation. Add COVID to it. Add COVID to it in two ways. One, add COVID to it, so it's I'm cooped up in a hotel room. I got to be careful. I got to be by myself as much as possible, and then the COVID issue number 2 is my family's in Florida, and maybe that's why. He's gonna stay up here in his bubble, and they'll be together in their bubble. Well, this is a family guy, Tomsula, devoted to them. They're devoted to him. His first day here, when in meeting with the media, it's really what he wanted to talk about, and I talked to him about it for a long time. I mean, yeah, football, but the giving background of his family, it's really neat, and their devotion to one another, neat. So here's the nut of the story. I mean, not more than an hour after Tomsula was told that morning, hey, we're going to let you go. Within an hour, on the road. Now, how he packed his stuff up, and I don't know if he was at the Omni or if he was in an apartment, how he packed his stuff up, this is whatever he is, a 55-year-old man or whatever he is, he's got stuff, packed it up, threw it in the trunk, and got the hell out of here, and drove from Dallas to Florida as fast as his Fred Flintstone feet could pedal. Because he missed his family. Because in a COVID time, they had to be safe there, and he had to be safe here, and he had to work, and he missed his family. So I know they're cartoon characters. I know we hate them when they lose. I know we boo them and we ask for their firing. We call for sometimes we call for these horrible things to happen to them because we're so passionate about our favorite teams. And you guys do it. I know you do. I hear you and I see the comments, and I see you at the grocery store, or I see you at the Maverick bar, or I see you at the game, and we talk about it. And I know you don't mean it when we say, I just wish he'd die. I wish he'd crumble up. I know we don't really wish that, but we say it forgetting that Jim Tomsula is a credentialed guy as an NFL coach, and it didn't work here. It didn't work because they told guys like Tank Lawrence to go, hey, you should try being, I know you've been doing a 3-point stance all your life. We want you in a 2-point stance. Stand up. And then, they talk to us and they say, yeah, he's going to be able to see the field much better. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess. But then there's, the downside is he's not coming out of the starting gates the same way you would in a 3-point stance. And that's not what he does. That's not what he's comfortable with. So they made a lot of mistakes, his coaching staff did. Jim Tomsula was part of it. But it doesn't take away the fact that he is quite a character. It doesn't take away from the fact that he's got credentials. I think Jim Tomsula, and I haven't talked to him about this, I think Jim Tomsula wants to go to Florida and retire and be done. And he's very fortunate. He was a head coach, of course, in San Francisco. He's coached for a long time. I assume he's got some money stashed away, and they can do that. Jim Tomsula loves football. There's no doubt about that. But I think it's fascinating that I don't think he was as sad about getting fired as you might think. I think he was happy about getting fired. I think he was comfortable with getting fired. I think he almost invited it. We do that thing. You fire me. You can't fire me. I quit. No, not that. Nobody wants to quit. There's a lot of money to be made if you're at the top of that profession, and Jim Tomsula has been at the top of that profession. But money doesn't buy what he has in Florida. So 18 hours, I joked with somebody the other day, 18 hours driving from Dallas to Florida. And if you're in a hurry to get where you want to go and there's something waiting for you at the other end, you barely stop for gas. You barely stop for gas. I appreciate you being a part of what we do here. We are 20,000 strong. We've got a premium group that we're putting together. We'd love to have you pop in there and be a part of that. That's a fun little club, and it is growing. There'll be prizes in there, just like we have prizes here, just for being a part of things. Your comments really do move me and motivate me and fuel what we do. So I appreciate that. And then also, and I know a lot of you have done this, if you'd please spread the word about what we do here. There's no slapdickery here. As you know, we don't waste a lot of time screaming and yelling and being foolish. We don't make stuff up. It's the straight dope. It's exclusive, and it's fish.